Hi guys, it's Sandy here from Salmon Fishing Holiday Scotland, and today I thought I'd talk to you about salmon fishing in low water. Now let's face it, for actually most of the spring, the water's been horrifically low. It's been bright and sunny, and the conditions have been pretty hopeless. We're now into heading towards the end of May, and it's looking like it potentially could be the driest spring on record. So I thought it'd be a good time just to have a think about sort of low water tactics, because I suppose if you've got a fishing holiday booked and you're really looking forward to it, and you get to the river that you're going to be fishing on for 3 days or maybe a week, and you're confronted with bright blue sky, really high temperatures, and low water, what do you do? Do you think, well, I'll throw the towel in and I'll go home? Or do you kind of like try and refine your tactics? And if you do refine your tactics, you may have the chance of picking up a fish or two. So, in terms of refining tactics, what do we mean by that? So, when you think about it, I think personally it's really important when it's really bright and sunny and it's warm to carefully choose the times of the day that you fish. So, usually, first thing in the morning and then last thing at night. So, in low light conditions, that can often be a productive time. This is also the times of the day, or the times of the day when the temperature is a bit lower, so it might make the fish a bit more active. Through the middle part of the day, so say from between like 10 o'clock right through till 6, 7 o'clock, the temperatures are at their highest and warmest, and the sun is really high up in the sky as well. So that's when the fish are likely to be sort of least active. So therefore, it is worthwhile thinking about, choosing carefully the times of day that you're going to fish, and actually try and fish during the times of day that the fish are most likely to be active. And during the cooler time, so again, first thing in the morning and last thing at night, if the fish are more active, they're also more likely to run the river because they feel confident in the lower light conditions. And if they're more likely to run the river, then there's often a good chance that you might be able to catch a fresh fish. Another thing to think about as well is that how you actually approach the river. Because if the water's low, the fish that are in the pools can be like really quite spooky. So often we talk about like the stealth approach. So try and really carefully to approach a pool with great care and not cause, and actually try and cause sort of minimum disturbance. So what kind of things can you do to sort of help you towards causing sort of minimum disturbance? So if you've got a pool and to get to it you need to go along a high bank, often a good idea is to stand well back, and that avoids casting a shadow over the water. So if the water is really low, it's likely that the fish will be quite spooky, and as soon as you cast a shadow over the water, that can frighten the fish, and that could be, the chances of catching a fish out of that pool absolutely minimized. The other thing worthwhile thinking about as well is, if you can, avoid wading a pool. So if you can cover a pool without wading, then again that's going to cause minimum disturbance, and you're sort of like engaging in that sort of stealthy approach. So that's always worth thinking about. And also, if you're fishing like a smaller river, say like in the Highlands, and the pools are very close together, then often if there's a fish lying in the head of one pool, you can actually fish it from the tail of the pool above you. So if they're quite close, you can get into right at the tail of the pool above the pool that you're going to fish, and then without causing any disturbance at all, maybe casting a slightly longer line, you can fish the head of the next pool. But of course, that is when fishing like smaller rivers and where the pools are quite close together. So far we've looked at sort of like times a day, and also the sort of stealth approach, how to approach the river. So what about the tackle itself? So I always think, if you can, to get away with it, try and use a light line as possible. So say, use a 5-6 weight if you can on a smaller river instead of a 9-10 weight, because by just like the weight of the line landing on the water, that can cause more disturbance, obviously, with a heavier line. And again, you're trying to adopt this sort of stealthy approach. And also, so a lighter line will likely cause less disturbance when you're casting. And also a lighter line will mean that the line will move slightly faster through the water because it's lighter in weight, and this in turn will allow the fly to move a bit quicker, and that could become a more attractive proposition to fish that might be there. And then that also makes the fly sort of more lifelike. Another thing that you can consider is using lighter leader material. So like, instead of like using 15-pound nylon in low clear water, think about maybe using like 12, 10, even 8, especially in the summer months. You can get away with 8-pound nylon. And also, I think I spoke on one of the previous episodes around fluorocarbon or nylon, which is better. So in the summer months, potentially using fluorocarbon might be a good idea. And then finally, we come to like sort of like the flies themselves. So normally, you want to use flies that are probably smaller in size. So like 12s, 14s, even smaller than that, even micro flies if the water's really, really low. Consider like maybe really, really sort of small tubes as well. That could be worthwhile and can be quite successful. And also think about the sort of mobility of the fly. So I always feel that, if a fly is more mobile in the water, then it's a more attractive proposition to the salmon. So therefore, like, it's worthwhile having some flies tied up with very, very sort of mobile material like Arctic fox, and there's lots of other mobile sort of materials that flies can be tied from, and that makes the fly sort of more lifelike. And if you've got running water, almost the fly can sort of pulse. So I suppose they're just a few things that you can sort of think about if you're confronted with low water during your fishing holiday. So you can turn up, you can be all doom and gloom and go, do you know what, I'm going to fish for half a day and I'm going to go home. But actually, if you stick it out, fish at the right times of day, approach the water with care and refine your tackle, you may just manage to pick up a fish or two. And that is a great result, especially if the conditions are really, really tough. So that's my thoughts on low water. We've had plenty of it this year so far. It's really bright, hot and sunny just now in Scotland, and I'm sure, well, this sort of weather is set to continue for the next few days anyway. So those are the wee tips to have a wee think about. And at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? You might stick out your holiday, and you've paid for it. And if you've not caught any fish, at least you'll have had some fun trying, and you're on holiday. Enjoy yourself. So yeah, that's just about it from me today. But please leave some comments below the video, and please like the channel because your support would be amazing. And if you want some more information on tips, tricks, tactics on salmon fishing in Scotland, please visit our ultimate guide, which is on our website, www.salmonfishingholidaysscotland.com. Okay, tight lines guys, and we'll see you again.